not been able to have the success I've had, if I've had any, and it's really weird. Even the way I just said that is from fatigue, from traveling a lot, because to be honest with you, I don't feel successful. And that's not false humility. I really, truly don't feel successful yet. I don't. I'm not trying to be like ingratiate myself to you, seem more humble than I am. I really don't feel that. It's not the way that I would word it. However, I can tell you what it comes from. I've only got two abilities. In my own family, there's four of us. Me, my wife, my two kids. They're both in college. About every 2 or 3 years, we do an IQ test, just for fun, just to see if I have finally caught their asses. And I am fourth consistently out of 4 human beings in my family. The people that know me very well in my life, I think if they describe me, I don't think the first thing they'd say is she's brilliant. They would say other things to be complimentary to me, but it would not be my intellect. I'm well read. Takes me I have to read things repeatedly to remember them as well, even at 51 years old. But I have made a lot of money, and I've helped millions of people with 2 skills. I'm gonna tell you what they are, and then I'll tell you how I got them, because it'll help you. Skill number 1, I can be incredibly present with people. I read people really well. I love people a lot. You can ask anybody who's ever driven me in an Uber or my driver last night. You can ask anybody who's met me. You can ask anybody who's been on my show. I think my show is the #1 podcast because I do get people to say things they've not said to other people because I'm fully present and I read them. And I think I do have this ability, I'm gonna brag, of making you feel like you're the most important, precious human in the world when you're with me. It's not a tactic, it's my being. That's a big skill. When you don't have intellect, when you don't have confidence, when you don't have connections or relationships. The second skill is I'm a good communicator. I've accomplished about everything I have in my life with those 2 skills. Where'd they come from? Pain. Dad's a drunk. By the time I was about 5 years old, I had 3 sisters and a mom. When my dad would go drinking, which was every day, my dad would tell me, you protect your mom and your sisters from bad guys if I'm gone. But the bad guy was him. And so when my dad would come home, I'm talking 5 years old, man, he'd come through that front door. I remember my 5-year-old little me. I don't even like talking about this anymore. I don't know why I'm still giving part of this talk. I would, thank you. I just don't. I mean, because I really feel this. I'd have to read my dad when he come through that door. What's his physiology like? How's his daddy's tie tied? How's he walking? What words is he using? And 5. And I would read him. And if he was drinking, I would say, Mama, go upstairs and take a bath. Mimi, get Andrea and Eric, you guys go play in your room. And I would be left with this man downstairs. I'm 51, I'm still not ready to talk about what would happen on those nights. Just not, and I won't. But they were tough. If he was sober, we would have dinner and it would be great. But I gotta tell you, if he were drinking, go ahead, Mom, you go up, take the girls. And then what I would have to do immediately was start talking to shift his emotions, shift his state, as you've heard someone say before. And I would grab his hand, Daddy. I said, how was your day? I said, well, I got a 93 on spelling. I hit 2 home runs, I hit 2 jacks in baseball. You did? Yeah. I scored a touchdown in football. You're kidding me. Mrs. Smith said I'm the smart. She said that? You're kidding me. I'm like, yeah. And I would get him over to the couch. If I get him over to the couch, we would sit there and I'd hold his hand. I would hold his hand as long as I could, because I knew if he touched me, he wouldn't hit me. He would feel his love for me when I would touch him. And I would talk to him. How would you? Well, I had this one of those meetings was good. But I was a banker. I had a meeting, it was good. Really, what happened? If I could get him for about an hour, he could sober up. I could get my sisters downstairs. What I had to do is I had to get him away from this liquor cabinet. We had a liquor cabinet, you come through the front door, you can see it. It was right there when he would walk down the hallway. I had to get him away from it because my dad was already drunk, but if he was to the liquor cabinet, if I couldn't get him over there, 8 Beefeaters gins back to back. My dad's drink was Beefeaters gin. Big glass, pour it, bam, bam. He's already drunk, bam. Drink 8 of them. 8 of them. I thought every dad did that. In fact, here's how much impact that made on me. I played high-level baseball. I played Division I college, played professionally afterwards. I wore number 8. That's how much the 8 imprinted in me with my dad. That's how I did. So, then I have to talk to him. Little did I know as a little boy, that all that pain I was going through, I was developing the 2 skills I would use to reach millions of people in my life. The misbelief you have is that you think the things you're embarrassed about, your divorce, your BK, you're out of shape, the mistakes you've made, the thing you're most ashamed of, you just been average all your life, you think disqualifies you. And it's holding you back. It might even be that you've just been invisible most of your life. The expectations haven't been met, most people underestimate you, and you've lived up to it. And so you think that disqualifies you, and that is a lie. Those are the very things that qualify you to help other people, to build your business, to build your life, to be a great mother, to be a great... The lie of life, when the adversary gets us to believe this, he uses this shit against us. So we start going, I'm disqualified. I play small. That's not me. That's not our family. If they only knew how insecure I was, they knew about my divorce, they knew my addiction, they knew... You're disqualified. That's what you think. You may not verbalize it that way, but you're like, I've always kind of just been this invisible average, like not that pretty good, but not great, almost is my way of life, whatever the heck. And you think that disqualifies you. It's a lie. Let me prove it to you. I figured it out with me. I'm only good at 2 things. Where'd this come from? I survived the temporary pain. And if you can survive, remember this year is going to be some pain. Some of you come in here with pain. You're sitting in it right now. Some argument with your spouse or your girlfriend or whatever it might be. My dad, I wrote this whole book, The Good News My Dad Gets Sober, right? But the power of one more is really about this. Really about this. Someone changed my dad's life. Well, my dad finally got sober. He said, I'm going to try to get sober this time. And he's crying when he tells me. And I said, why would you do it? He goes, my dad never said this until this day. I was 15. He goes, I love you. He goes, and I think I love you and your mom and your sisters more than this thing's got me. I never did it that way before. You deserve a daddy you can be proud of, Eddie. I'm going to try one more time. I'm going to give it one more try. That's why it's a chapter in my book. One more. See, if there's anything you want to accomplish great in your life, you have to link it to the love you have for other people, and you will do anything for them. But if you link it to the things you're afraid of, if you link it to the things you're worried about, you link it to your belief, you got to believe more in yourself. Well, good luck. That's going to take forever, isn't it? You've been trying that way. Link it to love. Link it to love. Know these things that you think disqualify you, qualify. Oh, now you can believe in you. So what's interesting is he finally did get sober. And when he got sober, he came back and said, Daddy, are you never going to drink again? He goes, Eddie, I cannot promise you I'll never drink again. What I can promise you is I'm not going to drink for one more day at a time. And he did that the rest of his life. He stacked up these one more days. After I wrote the book, it's awesome, right? That's what I was going to quit so many times as an entrepreneur. My dad would go, hey, calm down. I know it's bad, calm down. You don't got to decide you're never going to quit forever. Just don't quit for one more day. And I go, all right, Dad. And I just hold it to one more day. And I went to quit like 1% less the next day. And all of a sudden, a month later, I didn't really feel like quitting anymore. And my dad would go, don't you love Max? Don't you love Bella? Don't you love Christiana? Or do you love quitting more? You can't take the pain for your family. He goes, your will to win's for sale. You can be bought, dude. Hey, enough pain, enough rejection. You'll sell your kids. You'll sell your family. You'll word it something else. Market changed. My partner screwed me over. This, no. You sold out your family's dreams because you couldn't take the pain, because you didn't know on the other side of the pain is actually where the damn gift was, you dummy. And thank God my dad didn't do that. Amen. Like, this is really good, Lord. Thank you right now, right? So, my dad dies. I write the book. I waited until my dad passed to write the book. The book's not about my dad, but it's about my dad. It's lessons. I'm into neuroplasticity in the book, time management, the neuro-linguistic programming, the reticular activating system. So believe me, this is not some homage to my dad. There's a lot of details in this book. About 3 months, probably 4 months ago now, I wake up in the middle of the night, and now I'm crying. My wife's known me forever, knows I'm not a big crier. And she's like, what's wrong, babe? I said, this just blows my mind. I wake up, and she's laying there, so I said, someone help Daddy. She goes, what? I go, someone help Daddy. All these years, all this stuff, it never occurred to me. Someone help Daddy. She goes, what do you mean? I go, when my dad was going to take his own life, lose his family, my mom was leaving. His whole family was going to be gone. I don't even know where. Was it an alley, a bar, a hotel room somewhere? Some human being stepped forward and said, I can help you, Ed Mylett. That was my dad's name. I can help you. And this person changed my entire life. And they don't know it. The ripple effect of doing one little thing in your life. Because we were all born to do something great, big and small. What's weird is we're deluded into thinking what the big and the small are. Man, the big is on social. The big is Ed Mylett's got a TV show. The big is he flies around in a Global Express jet. Is that the big? What was bigger? That or this precious man who called my father? What's the ripple bigger? Who's greater, me or him? I'll submit to you, it's this man that saved my dad. He said, I can help you. What's nuttier, babe? And she's like, oh my God, because I don't know who he is. He probably has no idea who I am. I said, babe, what's bigger than that? What qualified this dude to help Daddy? She goes, oh my God, he was a drunk. He was a drug addict at one time. He was a liar. He lived in the shadows. He knows exactly what it was like to be your dad, and that's why he's qualified. Some of you asked me about Rory Vaden. Rory has this saying, he didn't make it up, but I'll give him some credit. You're most qualified to help the person you used to be. That drunk man, that drug addict, that liar, that shadowy person was most qualified to help my dad who was living that way. Because we're most qualified to help who we used to be. So the thing that you think disqualifies you is eminently what actually, totally, specifically, truly, without debate, qualifies you. I'm right. I can prove it to you over and over again. That should be an amen. And so you start rethinking all that crap. You with me on that? Say yes. All right, so I'm going to skip through a bunch of stuff. People have asked me, I got this asked today when I was walked into the Q&A, so I'm going to answer. The man who drove me over here asked me this too, which is like, how did you become, a public person? Like, how did that end up happening? And it's a really interesting story. So, because I'm stupid. So I want to tell you how all this happened to give you some hope, because you will probably stumble into the most of the good things in your life. So I was an entrepreneur already. I was already worth hundreds of millions of dollars. I coached people privately. Many of them you would know, because I am really good at the brain. I'm really good at visualization. I'm good at the reticular activating system. In the book, if you haven't read it, I call it The Matrix. I'm good at that. I was just doing it in the green room with a UFC fighter before I came up here. So I'm good at that. I was doing all that work, and I was sort of like a secret speaker. Meaning I had no program to sell, I didn't have an audio, I didn't have a click funnel, nothing to put you into. If you get my little thing, then you're in my other one, and we can upgrade you to the next one, and you know this shit, right? I didn't do any of that, nor do I want to do any of that, right? Because I'm actually a real operator of a business. The real ones don't usually need to do that. I make a whole lot more money actually doing my business than telling you how to do a business. I'm always a little skeptical of that. So, and I would tell Tony Robbins this all the time. He was a dear friend. And, but I had sort of built a reputation of an anointing when I spoke. Pastors would be like, man, you should have been a pastor. Like, if you knew what I do every day, I wouldn't be a pastor, trust me. Ask my wife. So here's the deal. I'm sitting on my balcony, and we're in Idaho. It's me and Tony. My son's there. And my son's like 13 at the time, Max. He goes, hey, I think you're the greatest speaker alive. You know about all this stuff. You're getting a little older. You need to step into the space. And I'm like, you know what, man? I'd like to, but here's the deal. I like my privacy. You know how introverted I am? By the way, last night I got here, I went to my room, I got DoorDash because I didn't have room service, and I was asleep at 9 o'clock. People were like, hey man, you have a party? Or I don't party. Go to Vegas, I haven't gambled in 30 years. I'm introverted. If you all were in the lobby last night, as much as I'd like to meet you, I'd probably walk around. No joke, I'm introverted, super shy. So I tell him this, and he goes, I'm gonna use the clean version. He goes, that's why you're an effing liar. I go, and I'm huge at the time. I'm on a lot of creatine at that time, okay? And Tony is 6'11", no, he's 6'8". So I'm a little bulldog full of creatine, and he's a massive human. And we're on a balcony, and one of us is gonna throw the other one over the balcony probably. He goes, that's why you're a liar. You say you wanna help millions of people unless it inconveniences you. And my son hears this. He goes, he's right, Daddy. I said, hey, this is a true story. This is not a lie. You can ask my son. I said, hey, I'm gonna do it then. I go, what's this thing? He goes, you need to get, I go, Max, pronto. I swear to God, this is what I said. I said, Max, set me up one of these InstaFace accounts he's got. He's like, yeah, I go, get it done. I had a Twitter for some reason. I'd never tweeted, but I had a Twitter. I don't even know how I had one. And I go, give me an InstaFace. He's like, Dad, it's Instagram or Facebook. Which one? I go, do them both. True story. My first exposure to social media, I referred to it as Insta Face. I go, how's it work, Robbins? I'd never been on there. You guys post like your dinner and what you had for lunch. I don't get this at all. It's like back in the day. Can you imagine back in the day? I'd take a Polaroid of my lunch and I'd mail it to your house. I'd mail the thing to your house and I'm like, hey, take a look at this. Let me know whether you like it. Feel free to make a comment about my sandwich. I would rip him all the time. This is the most bizarre shit I've ever seen in my life. People post pictures. You would never mail, here's my dinner. What do you think? You'd be like, you better open that letter and be like, what in the world? What do I think? I have nothing to say to you. Hey, you imagine that when you were a kid in school, do you like me? Check yes or no. You imagine sending them that picture of your lunch. If you like it, click the like. They would never do that. This was the stupidest thing. I still think it's the stupidest thing. I do not understand this at all. So finally, I go, how's it work? He goes, you gotta make a video, you say your little thing there that you're good at saying, you put it out there into the internet. He doesn't know either. It's two middle-aged men talking. Tony should have 100 billion followers. He doesn't, right? I'm like, all right. He goes, I go, okay, how long is this thing? He goes, a minute. I go, wait, what? He goes, a minute. I go, dude, my keynotes are, it takes me 40 minutes to clear my throat. He goes, you gotta say it in a minute. I go, why? He goes, I don't know, it's only a minute long. It'll cut you off. I go, that's ridiculous. I have way more than a minute. He goes, just do it, dummy. I go, like, all right, blah, 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 blah. It's a really good one, right? I go, Max, post it. You're my social media coordinator. He posted. This is no joke, true story. Next day, this will give you illustrative of why you can win and why I'm stupid. I'm on my boat driving to a golf course. Robbins is on his boat, not going to a golf course, but we're on the same lake. So it's noisy and we're breaking up and my engines are running. But I call him, I go, hey, I'm out. He goes, what do you mean? I go, it doesn't work. He goes, what do you mean? I go, the whole video got 4 views and 1 like, and that was my mom. Make sure you're not recording me. Make sure you're not recording me. And I said, so it doesn't work. And he goes, it's gonna take a little bit more than 1 day, dude. I go, that's ridiculous. That's like 4 people. And I don't know the other 3, why didn't they like it? It pisses me off, it was good. And he goes, listen, this is what I hear him say. He goes, what time did you post? I go, I don't know, like 4:30. He goes, dude, you gotta post at breakfast time. That's the highest traffic time. Now, by the way, here's how coachable I am. To this day, right now, 7 years later, every single post I make is at 7:30 a.m. on my main feed. I've never posted at 8:15, 10:30 at night. Every single post I have ever made on my main feed is 7:30 in the morning, breakfast time. I go, okay, I got it. And this is what I hear him say, I think. He goes, gotta post at breakfast time, you need hash browns in the video. And I'm too insecure to ask him what this means. I don't understand the correlation. I don't know why it worked. I call Max, I'm on the boat, I go, hey, you said you understood this Instaface crap. I know why we only got 4 views and only my mom liked it. He goes, why, Daddy? I go, we gotta post at breakfast time and there needs to be hash browns in the video. And Max goes, hey, Dad, I go, look, I'll be back from the golf course about 4 o'clock. Have your mom make some hash browns. We're shooting the next video when I get back. We'll post it tomorrow morning. If you don't believe me, you can go to my Instagram. The second video I ever post, for no apparent reason, there's a gigantic plate of hash browns in front of me. That's a true story. So, I make the video with the plate of hash browns in front of me. Max posted the next day at breakfast time. Done. And I call Robbins that night. I go, dude, I don't know what you're talking about, but I did everything you said. This time I got 4 views and no likes. Even my mom did not like the freaking video. This does not apparently work. He goes, I don't know, man, you gotta do more of it. I go, well, look, I did breakfast time and I had the hash browns in the video. I'll clean it up because it's Tony. He goes, wait a minute, stop. Right now, stop. What did you just say? My heart's racing right now, probably like 200 beats a minute, I swear to you. I go, I posted it at breakfast time, and I did the hash brown thing. He's like, dude, you are literally the biggest idiot in the world. What are you talking about? I go, I don't know what I'm talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. You mentioned 2 giants of personal development. What are you guys talking about? You're a dumbass. No, you're a dumbass. 2 middle-aged men, that's what we talk about. And he goes, dumbass, it's hashtags, not hash browns. How would it be hash browns? Why would that matter? And I'm like, hold on a minute. This is so good. Ask Tony, you can ask him. I go, hey, hang on a minute. what's a hashtag? He goes, I don't know. I don't know. He goes, it's like a pound sign and then a word. I go, why would that matter? He goes, I have no idea, dude. But you gotta have them in the videos. I'm like, Max, plan B, we're dropping the hash browns, we're going hashtags. It's a true story. True story, I swear to you.
There's hope for us.
True story. And a year later, I had 1 million followers. And a year after that, I had the #1 podcast in the world. Is that nuts? I mean, like, that is nuts, right? And so that's how I started. You don't even want to know how I started my podcast. I'll tell you that real quick, and I gotta get into my stuff. My podcast, he goes, you need a podcast. Didn't know what it was. I go on Amazon. This is the true story. You can Google it. Tim Ferriss on Amazon has a podcast kit. I don't know who he was at the time, but he had a big podcast. So it's literally the Tim Ferriss podcast kit. I buy it. It's a microphone, a little thing you talk into, get it shipped to the house and go, Max, set that thing up. We're going to have a podcast. And this is a true story. I do the podcast the first time. My first guest was J-Lo. I worked with Jennifer for a long time. I need a big guest. My second guest was Tony Robbins. It was a good start, right? Like J-Lo, Tony Robbins, and I had like Zach Johnson on, the guy who won the Masters. So, but anyway, it was good first few shows, except the J-Lo one. The J-Lo one, like, we did it was amazing, and she cried. She's like, I've never said any of these things. I don't know how you do this to me. I'm like, yes, I'm a professional podcaster. That's why I'm clearly, you know who you're dealing with over here, young lady. And so I call Robbins. True story, he'll tell you. I go, hey, real quick, we're done, but how do you get, I swear to you, and by the way, you don't even know the answer to this either. I go, how do you get it out of the box into the internet? You ever thought about that? I didn't know how to do it. I'm like, he goes, what do you mean? I go, it's in the thing, but how does that get into the internet? And then where in the internet does it go to other people? You all don't even know, you just listen to these things. He goes, I don't know. I'll connect you with Brandy. I'm like, hey, Brandy, so it's in the box. How does it go from there where people hear it? She goes, oh, you have to post it on this thing called Libsyn, and it's a hosting platform. And I go, Max, figure out what this Libsyn thing is. She goes, so what you got to do is, and this is me back to like scar tissue, it's a year later. She goes, so you just take the chip and you download on your computer, and then it's on Libsyn. I'm like, what is the deal with food? With these people, hash browns, chips. I go, Max, there's a chip, evidently, you got to have from the machine to put it into the internet, and then we can hear it. Take the chip out of there. He goes, Daddy, we don't have the chip. I go, what did you just say? He goes, we don't have a chip. I go, hit the button, see if there's one in there. There's no chip in there. My entire first show, we never recorded it. We never recorded it. Never did it. So that's how I started. So I don't know where you're at in your entrepreneurial journey, but I'll bet you're further ahead than hash browns and you didn't record your first podcast, whatever it is you're doing. So that ought to give you some hope. But what do I know about winning? What did I learn? What has worked? Let me show you what's worked. Let me see, does this thing work? It's vibrating. Whoa. Forget it. I was going to tell you that story, but I didn't. What do these people have in common? Anybody of you know? I picked a Jobs, Oprah, put myself up there with them. Kris Jenner's my neighbor. Rachel Musk, he's doing some little things right now. Andy, Mother Teresa, that's just a hilarious combo. That's why I did it. Zuck, DJ, who's on my show next month. Martha Stewart, and my hero, Martin Luther King. Wrote my dissertation on Dr. King. So, what do all these people have in common? Because they're very different. Would you agree? Yeah, they get attention. That's true. Some of them are pretty smart. Some of them aren't. Some are very inspirational. Some of them aren't. Some of them in business, some of them aren't. Some are political, some are religious. Definition of purpose, true. What's that? They're influencers. Vision, wow, all that's true. If you added all those things up, what they actually are is they're evangelical. Woo! About their cause and their mission. Great entrepreneurs are evangelical about their cause and their mission. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. We're going to get into details now. You are always making people feel something. So the more intentional you become about what they're feeling will be directly correlated to your ability to influence them. Most people are oblivious to this fact. They're unintentional about what people are feeling around them, and it's left up to their own devices or the opinion of that person has for you. You need to get better at this if you're going to be a better father, mother, friend, entrepreneur. Okay, so evangelist is a person who seeks to convert others, especially by zealous preaching, public preaching. It could be writing, it could be blog, it could be a look, it could be a handshake, but you got to get better at this stuff. In fact, it's the separator. It is the thing. They are better at making people feel something. They sell a big enough dream that the dreams of all the people within their stewardship can fit inside the one they're selling. You want to be a great mother? Sell a big dream to your family so the dreams of your children, your spouse, and anybody else in your family can fit in it. You want to be a great entrepreneur? Sell a big enough dream. And then what else do you sell? They got to feel something. What is it people should be feeling? It's a good question, isn't it? You can pull this down. Sorry, I clicked a little too far. What is it that people need to feel? There's a thing that's connected to two things. All great entrepreneurs, all great leaders, they don't even know they're doing it, but now I'm going to teach you it. They get people to feel love. And behind love, what does love give you? Happiness. Great entrepreneurs sell happiness. There's a correlation to their company, their product, their experience, and happiness. And to the extent that you can get good at this, listen to me, is the extent that you will be somebody who magnetizes money, magnetizes accounts. It becomes much easier. You're doing it the hard way because people don't feel things from you. You're like, hey, thank you, and you're going to hear this. Listen to me on this. You're like, well, my business doesn't do that. I run a drug rehab center. How in the world could that be happiness? You have to link their sobriety, their experience there, that they'll be happier. Oh no, I run a cannabis business. That's an easy correlation, brother. Come on, right? No, you don't understand. I'm an in-between vendor. We sell sheet metal. You got to do the correlation of the two. Let me explain it to you. I'll prove it to you. The number one distributor of food in the world, who is it?
Cisco.
It's McDonald's. Is it the quality of the food? Is it its health worthiness? So wait, you're telling me the number one distributor of food on the planet's product sucks? That's what I'm telling you. You keep thinking, I gotta improve the product, we gotta get better than the competition, we gotta improve the product, we gotta improve the pricing, gotta improve this. Cool, do all that, don't do what I'm telling you, you lose. I know most of the top entrepreneurs on the planet. I know most of the top political people in the world. I help them prepare for their debating. I know them real well. I know most of the top CEOs. There is no correlation between the quality of what they do and their success level. There is a correlation with happiness. Oh, by the way, who owns the most real estate in the world? Oh, same group. So the two most important industries in the world, other than faith, shelter and food, one company dominates both. And they ain't in either one of those businesses. They're in the happiness business. They got good at a correlation, non-correlated product, by the way. What does fried hamburger meat, pickles, and french fries have to do with, that clogs your arteries, have to do with happiness? Doesn't matter because you bought it. They branded it. They got good at it. They got the genius of it. You're like, oh my gosh. Let me prove it to you. What's the number one meal they sell at McDonald's called? Oh, they're just right in your face with it. You've been buying it the whole time. You've been buying it the whole time. Happiness. You imagine the day Ray Kroc walks in and he goes, hey, you know what? I got an idea. People need to be happier. You know what we need? A mascot. We need a mascot. You imagine being in the first board meeting? What the fuck does a mascot have to do with hamburgers? Nothing. Everything. And you know what I think it should be? A clown. We're gonna have a damn clown running around this place. He's gonna be yellow and reddish orange. We're gonna paint his face. And damn it, people are gonna feel happy when they see this dude. They're gonna buy a buttload of hamburgers and we're gonna own all the real estate in the world. You're like, wow, no correlation. You've been buying it all your life. You keep not getting marketing. Okay, Ed, how'd you go from hash browns and chips to, and I'm not bragging, but easily the number one brand in personal development and business? Anybody that you would name along with me has run hundreds of millions of dollars of ads. I've never run an ad. I don't even know how to run an ad. I was just in a retreat with Randy, with all the big influencers in the world. He's going to validate this. They all went around the room. I'm having a hard time with my team, my CMO, my CEO, my this. They have teams of 80 to 100 people, my peers. I'm the last speaker. I go, my team is my sister, Erica. That's it. She's 43 and she runs everything, including my social media. She booked my damn flight here today. And they're all like, what the? Yeah, I don't have a team. But I'm the best at selling happiness. I'm the best at content. And so, listen to me, that's not bragging. Can you imagine you get into social media that late, you become the number one person in that space without ever running an ad? How the hell do they do it? This, right here. By the way, number one thing they sell at McDonald's, turns out, ain't hamburgers and fries. They sell this sugary carbonated beverage that if you drink enough of it will give you diabetes. It's called Coca-Cola. How come they sell so much? Because when you get a Coke and, oh man, this shit's been happening around you all the time. You're over there like, yeah, we really got to get better at our social media content, and our marketing, and our email list. Do it. One of you's like, I'm going to do what that Mylett guy said. He seems to know what he's talking about. We got to start correlating happiness when we hire, when we recruit, in our culture, in our marketing, in our social media, in our print media, in our emails, in our branding, and everything we freaking do. I got to start getting that. I was in the financial business for 30 years. I believe I'm the highest paid person in the history of the industry. And I would literally start my presentation by saying, listen, here's my outcome. We're going to talk a lot about protecting your family and saving money, but ultimately, what I want to see happen is this be a happier family. And I just really believe that if we do the things we're going to talk about today, that there'll be a measurable increase in happiness in this family. A lot more peace in this house, a lot more joy, a lot more bliss. So I'm just super excited about what we're going to do right now. It's called an embedded command. It's called a pre-frame. It's called a pre-frame. You set the frame before you tell them the information. Then as you're telling them the information, you remind them about the pre-frame. Then when you're done, you tell them what it just meant. So what all this really meant, yeah, there'll be a rate of return. Yes, there's protection. There's the amount of life insurance. But like I said, what it really means is there's going to be more happiness around here. When those kids go to college, be happy. When you get to that age where you don't want to work anymore, Bob, be happy. Connect the things. You're good at it. So, by the way, that's that company. The other company, they're okay. They make these things, I don't know. Anyone got one of these? You ever heard of this company, Apple? Ever heard of it? No? Yeah, anybody hear of an Apple product? It's just everybody. Number one most influential company of all time. Hands down. Transformed humanity. The founder of that company, Steve Wozniak, become a good friend of mine. He's come into my Arte group to speak and coach. Funny thing about Steve, he would be the richest man in the world had he not given away most of his stock to employees back in the day. Someday the story of Steve Wozniak will be the dominant story of Apple, not Steve Jobs. He's a beautiful man. He's almost like a savant when you meet him. He may even be, I won't say that. He's savant. And so I asked Steve, I said, Steve, I said, Woz, when you and Steve started Apple, why'd you name it Apple? He goes, oh, Ed, A came early in the phone book, so we thought that would be probably good. They'd find us. But the main reason we did it, Eddie, is because Steve said apples made him happy. I go, you're shitting me. He goes, no. Happy. And then he goes, Ed, we're so in happiness that he goes, do yourself a favor tonight. And I did. Go to YouTube and watch Steve roll out a new Mac. See, the current CEO of Apple, Tim Cook, is my neighbor. And I'm always telling Cookie, I'm like, Cookie, no one gives a shit about the pixels on the camera, dude. You see the commercial for Google's camera right now? It's unbelievable for the Google phone. Like 8 people own it. So you have the power of Google's distribution. You have the better phone with all the pixelization, and no one owns it. Because they're selling pixels and megs or gigs, and Jobs built the whole market by selling happiness. Apple better be careful they don't get too far away from it. I tell Cookie that all the time. So go watch on YouTube. Steve would roll out a new Mac. You think he was talking about gigs, or I don't even know what those things are, but you think he did that? No. Here's what he did. He go, hey, how happy would you be if this sexy sweetheart was sitting on your lap? Look at her curves. Look at her colors. How happy would you be for her to be on your laptop? And they sold a lot of them. So he sold happiness. You guys starting to get it now? Say yes. Okay, cool. Now why must this happen? Damn, that's good, right? Damn. You're like, shit's been happening around me the whole time. I had no damn idea. Right, and that's why average, ordinary entrepreneurs can move forward. That's why you can start out with hash browns, start out the son of an alcoholic, start out with all those insecurities, and man, I have made something. And these are just concepts that you slowly begin to build out in your life. And you now know the secret message. I know when I meet you, what you want is to be happier. So when I'm talking to you, I want you to feel a measure of that from me. And that's what I'm correlating when I talk to people. And it's not a strategy, it's how I live. And I'm not, of all my mistakes, this is something I'm good at doing. So, why does it matter? Let me tell you why it matters. Time's running out on you. Time is running out. I'm going to go a little long, okay? Time's running out. You think you got forever. I'm going to prove it to you. I'm a big fan of stand-up comedians. I think they're the best speakers. I've had Sebastian Maniscalco on, Nikki Glaser, Frank Caliendo, Dane Cook. I've had a lot of guys on, ladies on too. Whitney Cummings. And they come watch me speak, and I come watch them speak. I had Christina Pion, who's Tom Segura's wife. They call her Mommy. She's hilarious. And It's interesting. I was watching Netflix a few months ago, and of all of them, I saw this man. I went, oh my gosh, babe. He was hilarious. It was the #1 special on Netflix, but not only was he funny, he talked about his family in the special. It was all about his daughters and his wife and his dads, and it was motivational. He's like, it took me 20 years, man, to get up on this stage. I had to walk miles back and forth to get on this stage, and somehow I'm up here and I've made it. And he said in the special, he goes, I tell my daughters, you gotta have that thing. You gotta have that thing, that dog in you, that thing that you push through adversity. I'm like, babe, have you ever seen a dude this funny, this spiritual, I love this guy. So I DM him on Instagram as we're watching it. Oh, at the end of the special, brings his wife and daughters out on the stage. He goes, this is who I've been talking. I've never seen a comedian do it. And then he goes, by the way, I thought you'd like to know the rest of my family, so I filmed a documentary about my dads. He has 3 dads. So after the special, then you meet his dads. Then he talked about it. It's amazingly beautiful. And I'm like, I love this dude. I'm going to put him on the show. So I DM him. I go, hey, David Arnold, I'm sitting here with my wife. I'm laughing. I'm crying. I'm moved. You're amazing. Love to have you on my show. No joke. You ever see the dots, even on Instagram? 3 seconds later, he goes, babe, listen to this. It's at Mylett. He goes, hey, man, we're huge fans of yours. My sister thinks you're hot, by the way. I'm like, your sister's mine, right? I said, dude, I'd be honored to be on your show. And it was actually Dwayne Johnson who had to reschedule. I said, hey, I had to back go, well, next Tuesday, Dwayne Johnson had to reschedule. You could take the spot. And he goes, hits me back again. He goes, man, can we text? And he texts me. He goes, I'd love to do it, bro, but I'm filming a movie in Atlanta next week. I go, oh, no problem. We'll find another time to do it. He goes, you know what? Could we shoot early? I go, yeah. He goes, how about 8 a.m.? I go, sure. He goes, tell you what I'll do. I'll leave the movie set. I'll take the red eye from Atlanta back to LA. I'll land at 6. I'll drive over. We'll do the show. I'll jump back on a plane. I won't miss the set to shoot that night. And will you do that? He goes, no, I really want to come on. I go, okay. So he comes on. We have an amazing interview. And like a lot of my guests, we just connected. And in the interview, he literally says to me, I'm going to know you the rest of my life. I said, brother, I feel that the same way. And then immediately our wives started talking, and Julie's telling Christiane, I think they're going to be best friends. And we have this amazing connection. Well, let me show you the interview first. It's funny. Go ahead. Play this one. I'll play one of the clips.
Story. Bakersfield.
This is hilarious. He got arrested.
Ticket. I was driving a car that did not have didn't have seatbelts on it. They wanted me to put seatbelts in the car. I found out it cost $600 to put seatbelts in a car. I paid $600 for it. I'm not going to do that. So I was like, I'm going to drive this car till it falls over, and it did. And I left it on the side of the road. And I just walked home, and I never thought about that car ever again. And I was somewhere drinking with my friends at Edwards Air Force Base like 2 years later. And they ran my name, and a warrant came up, and it was a fix-it ticket that had turned into a warrant. The hardest part of being in there was eating that food without any salt. My mother was like, they're raping people in there, people are getting shanked, and your complaint is that there is no salt.
Dude, it's awesome. There's another clip, but I don't have time, so I'll skip the clip if I can. And then I'll show you the picture. You pull a picture of he and I. So this is he and I. You guys can pull it up. This is he and I after the show. Good looking man. I think he's awesome. Anyway, the show comes out the next Tuesday, and if you come on you'll see. So he comes on my show, and he's like, bro, we got 6,000 DMs like the first 3 hours. It was blowing up, and people, I go, man, they're loving you. They love you. You're amazing. On the show, we were talking about him doing arenas. I said, now you're filling up arenas. This thing's a done deal. The next morning, he messaged me from the kitchen. He's like, hey, brother, Julie's here. Is this crazy? Dude, he goes, I have more DMs than I'll get through this year. I can't believe this right now. I'm so grateful for you. I hit him back and I go, bro, it wasn't me. It was you. I just sat there. I just asked the questions. You're incredible. He goes, nah, it was both of us going back and forth. And then he goes, babe, Monday, right? And I goes, yeah. And he goes, Monday, brother, montage. We're coming down. Me and you doing cigars and wine in the backyard. Then we're taking the ladies to the montage. I'll get us a reservation at 8. This was at like 9:48-ish, right? And I hit him back at about 9:52. I go, okay, you'll set up the reservation. Looking forward to it, brother. 9:54, he goes, I got you. 9:58, he died. In the kitchen. Looks pretty fit, doesn't he? Young, healthy, prime of his life. #1 special on Netflix. Writes the #1 TV show on Nickelodeon and is filming his first blockbuster movie. Gone. Gone. A week later, I was asked to speak at his Celebration of Life service. Gone. He's alive. Would you agree that's an alive man? You ever meet someone that's alive? A little bit more alive than most. Gone. Here's your problem. Listen close, because I say this as a brother or a sister, okay? You think everybody else is going to die, not you. You consciously know it, like, yeah, but you don't. You don't live like you're gonna die. You live like you're never gonna die. You think it's gonna happen to someone else. You'd be shocked if you died, wouldn't you? You'd be shocked. And so because of that, you live. See, the great lie of your life isn't that you don't have a dream. You have a dream. You want to be happy or sad, rich or poor. You know the answers to all these things. You have a dream. Here's the lie. It's depth perception. You think what you want is further away than it is. And because you believe it's way out there, you've created behaviors and thoughts and patterns in your life to perpetually always keep it there. And it will always stay away from you until you die without it. And you will never have the moments, the memories, the emotions, the experiences that you deserve because you never thought you were going to die, and the lie you kept telling yourself is that this stuff's really far away, where the truth is it's one decision away, one meeting away, one new thought, one new emotion, one new relationship, one speaker away from you going, wow, I'm a little bit different now. I'm a little bit different. I'm going to get in a hurry. I'm going to get more intentional. I'm going to speed this thing up because you are dicking around keeping stuff out in space away from you because you got all the time in the world. And you don't. Listen, it wasn't that long ago that events like this, I was the young dude in the front taking notes. Now I'm the old dude supposedly with some wisdom. And it was like that. It was like that Max was born. Bella was born. I wish I could have told him when we filmed the interview, David, you have 1 week left to live. Bro, you have 1 week. Make sure you tell Julie you love her one more time. Get that stuff straight with your dad, man. You don't want to be disconnected from your dad. I know he screwed up. Fix it. Make sure you tell the girls you love them. Make sure your finances are tight, bro. You got 1 week. When he called me Tuesday, hey man, 6,000. David, brother, you have 1 day left to live. When he messaged me that morning, I said, bro, you have 1 hour. You imagine how much he didn't think that was coming? He had emails to do, meetings to get to. He was going to get around. Most of you were going to get around to being happy. You're going to get around to winning. You're going to get around to it. You're going to get around to making sure the people you love. You're going to get around to it, man. You're going to get around to it. And you keep keeping it out there. You keep keeping it out there. I came today to get you to stop and go, man, listen, this is the time. And how do I shift this? And you're right. Like I feel that in my body when you say it. How do I shift? I'll give you submission. You got to start competing. One of the great distractors, man, is competing against not others, but you, what you're capable of. Start to get in the game and keep score. Make it matter. It's okay to feel pain when you lose. You're given that pain as a catalyst to change and improve and double down. Here's the truth. You're way more resilient than you think you are. You're smarter. You're more connected. You've got a God who's got his hands all over you. You know what frustrates me with people of faith? Most of you are people of faith. Man, you got all kinds of faith Sunday. Your little worship, your little Bible group on Wednesdays. Your little small group at your church with the other couples. You're all real churchy, lovey Jesus. But man, come Monday, you're alone. You walk into a meeting, it's you. It's you. You go into that important call, it's you. You got problems, it's you. Only real shift I made is, I ain't alone. I wasn't going to say this, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to go over it. I'm going to cut the end of my talk. Let me tell you what really changed my life. I've only said this to a small group. I've never said it to a big group. I swear to you. Randy knows this, but I've never said this to another group. I was broke. I had some success. I'm surprised I'm saying this, but I had some success, and I started to fail. And I had just gotten married to the girl I dated all my life. I can't believe I'm saying this story. And I got broke. I had my house foreclosed on. We moved into an apartment. Our power got turned off. My wife had 2 jobs. And one day she went out. She came back in to go to work. She goes, someone stole our car. I'm like, God, you doing this to me now? Except it wasn't stolen. It was repoed. A week after that, our water got turned off. You can have a lot of things happen to you. You don't have water. You can't cook. You can't brush your teeth. You can't bathe. So we had an apartment complex we were now living in. There was a pool. There was a shower. You know those showers at outdoor swimming pools? I'd get up every morning with my wife. The little thing we carry down with our towels. I sold this girl a dream since we were 5 years old that I was going to be successful. We were going to live on the ocean. Amazing things were going to happen. And now I'm watching this precious woman carry her toothbrush and her deodorant down to an outdoor pool. We get there, and I'd hold a towel up, and she'd take her shower and brush her teeth. And then when she'd be done, it was cold. She'd then hold it up for me. And I'd brush my teeth, take a shower. And then we'd gather our stuff. Our neighbors knew. They're all going out to work. And I'm walking up the stairs this one morning, and I'm just ashamed. I'm living a complete nightmare, and I gotta go out into the public every day and sell a dream. Any of you relate to that? I gotta go sell a dream, and I'm living a nightmare. And she went to work. I didn't that day. I just quit for a few minutes, to be honest. I don't got it. My dad, everyone was right. All his dreams. I have a college degree. I can have a decent job. We could go to a barbecue on the weekends. We'd probably take a vacation every year somewhere. I could just do that life. I was so freaking close to letting all the projections of these small thinking people finally get me. And I called my dad. I said, hey, my dad had no financial means to help me. I'm quitting. He goes, man, I feel you. It's okay if you want to. Like I said earlier, he goes, you know what? Just don't quit for one more day. He goes, hey, one other thing. You know how much I love you. I said, I know, Dad. He goes, your Father in heaven loves you way more. I know that's hard to imagine, but he does. Just remember that. For some reason, he said that to me. We got off the phone. It's the middle of the day. I'll never forget it. I walked over to our bed. It's a black lacquer bed. I thought that was cool. 2 black lacquer dressers. And I got down because I pray on my knees, and I prayed. Never said this in a big group before. I'm about to tell you. And usually church stuff's like, hey, we worship you, Lord. You're amazing, God. This was a different twist. And I'm like, God, I said, Father, tell me about me. I'm your son. Tell me about me. And this amazing experience happened. I can't quite describe it. It was auditory, or I felt it, or I thought it. I don't know. But it was, you're strong. You're powerful. You're resilient. You're tough. You're such an amazing speaker. People love you. You got the answers. You're funny. You're kind. You're gentle. You're generous. And I had this flood of who I was as his son, made in his image. And I got up from that time and I was like, oh my gosh, like, whoo, that's who I am. And my wife got home that night and I said, babe, she had the 2 jobs. I said, babe, come here. She known me forever. You know how it is with your wife. You can't all of a sudden be a cheesy weirdo. And she gets home, I said, babe, I said, sit down. We're on the couch. I grabbed her hand and said, babe, let me tell you about you. Let me tell you about you. She goes, huh? Let me just tell you, you're so beautiful. I came home from kindergarten the first day. I told Daddy, I'm going to marry that brown girl, Daddy. I married her. I love you so much. You're so sweet. You're so kind. You've never hurt anybody. People don't know how brilliant you are. You love the Lord so much. You're such a good daughter. You're such an amazing wife. You're going to be an amazing mama someday. I'm so grateful for you. Forgive me for not always telling you. I'm always going to tell you I love you. And she cried, and I cried, and I hugged her. It changed our marriage. And then when Max was born, I'll never forget it. Max was born, and I was cutting his cord. He was a C-section, and Christiana was there, and I'm cutting his cord. I said, Maximus, let me tell you about you. You're so strong, man. You're so powerful. You're so smart. You're so gentle. You're so kind. You're so honest. Oh my gosh, you have Daddy's blue eyes. You got Daddy's eyes. You're going to change the world. I'm naming you Maximus. You're a gladiator. You're a leader. You're a gladiator. You're a champion. You're the greatest of all time, son. I've told Max that every single day. Did it this morning. My son loves it. He laps it up. Tell me again, Dad. My daughter, when she was born, I said, Bella Boo. Christy, I was right there. Let me tell you about you. You're so beautiful. You're so fast. I kept telling her she was fast. You're so fast. You got Daddy's blue eyes. You're so funny. People love you. You're so precious. You're one of a kind. You're my only one. I love you so much. Bella Boo, you're a superstar. We would have dinner in restaurants. She'd always climb on my lap when she was little after we'd eat. She'd go, Daddy, tell me. I go, Bella Boo, let me tell you about you. When she got to be a teenager, that changed. You're like, Dad, I got it. I'm a little super. Stop it. Don't do it in front of my friends. You know, little teenage girls are, Dad, I got it. I'm great. Whatever. I got a test today, Dad. You know. And when I dropped her off at college, listen to me. This changed my life. I dropped my daughter off at college. She goes to Clemson. She's a freshman. And when she was in the dorm, she knew she could see it on my face. So she got a room. She goes, do it in front of my roommate. I'm doing it. I'm going to do it. She goes, Daddy, please. They're going to think we're so weird. And I go, okay, well, look, you want to go in the hallway? We can go in the hallway. She goes, yeah. So what she didn't know is when we were going in the hallway, I left a note on her pillow that I had written her. And on the pillow it said, Bella Boo, let me tell you about you. And I wrote her the letter so she can read it anytime she wants every day. We get into the hallway and everyone's moving into their dorm and they're watching. Now there's more people watching. I go, come here. She goes, Dad, please. I'm like, no, come here. And my wife's like, Eddie, just once. I go, no. I said, let me tell you about, you still have Daddy's blue eyes. Bella, people are gonna love you here. You're so precious. You're the funniest, which she is. You're so smart. You're gonna meet so many people. They're gonna be amazed by you. You're so beautiful. You're so strong. You're so gentle. You're so tough. You're so resilient. You're my only one. I love you so much. You're my favorite. You're my favorite. You're a superstar. I gave her a kiss. We left. 6 weeks later, I'm speaking in Florida. Her mom came with me on my plane. We landed in Florida. I go, hey, way back, let's go surprise Bella. So she goes, well, she's in college now. I go, okay, we'll call her. So I call her. I go, hey, look, we're on stage in about an hour. I'll be done. I'm going to be at Clemson in 4 hours. So whatever you're doing, clean up that room. I don't want to see anything. I'm coming in 4 hours. Me and your mom are coming to take you to lunch. And I get there, and I walk in, and by the time I get there now, there's about 30 kids in a room. They all came to meet me. They're fans of mine, right? Which is embarrassing to her, as it was. So I'm in there taking pictures. Mr. Mylett, my dad loves you. I'm like, what about your dad? So I take all these pictures. With these kids. They're wonderful kids. And I go, okay, we're gonna take Bella to lunch. Okay, Mr. Mylett, great to meet you. And we get to the door, and this young man goes, Bella Boo, make sure your dad tells you about you. I go, you told him all. I go, I'm gonna do it. When all of these fans of mine asked her, tell us about your dad. It wasn't he's this or that. It was, well, he tells me about me. And she said when she told him, other little girls were crying. I wish my dad did that. And we go to lunch, and I'm like, you didn't tell me. She goes, Dad, it's no big deal. I go, okay. We have lunch, we take her back, it's raining, and I purposely don't do it. She gets out of the Uber we're in, and it's raining, and she goes, Christian, let's do it. I go, no, I'm not doing it. Okay, she walks to the door, and I'm watching her. She kind of is walking to her door, and she's gonna look. She sees if I'm coming. I'm not. I'm at the car. She gets all the way to the door. She gets to the door, and she goes to pull the door open, and she goes, Daddy! I go, what? She says, you didn't do it. I go, what? She goes, you know. I go, well, come here. And my little girl has been rolling her eyes for about 7 years, runs up into my arms in the rain. She goes, right here. She goes, I go, come here. I said, I love you. I said, you're my favorite. You're my only one. You're so precious. You're so beautiful. You're so fast. People here, I told you everyone's going to love you. You're going to crush this place. You're amazing. You're a superstar. And she kisses me. She leaves. Why do I tell you all that? The day that I did that prayer that I did with my wife, I changed the way I did everything in my life and business. How do you coach? How'd you get J-Lo on your show? How'd you get in? Let me tell you. I tell them about them. You want to get great at making people feel something at some point after you know them a little bit, go, hey, can I tell you about you? Can I tell you about you? Man, you know what sense? You just love your family. You're a good man. Can I tell you about you? I can see you've been through some stuff, but man, you're so gentle and kind and so good to people. I've been able to connect with people in my life by telling them about them. When you become the person who points out to somebody their 2 or 3 gifts that are theirs, you'll be the only person in their life that's ever told them, or maybe second. Maybe they got a grandma, maybe their mom. In fact, if I said to you, who's the person in your life that saw the thing about you, not like you're awesome, but like, this is why you're awesome, and then they told you. You think about it right now, you're crying. Look at you. It was this coach, it was my dad, it was my mom, it was my grandfather, it was, so, maybe you never had it, and that's why you need somebody in your life like that. If you shift that, when you start telling people about them, you will see your life totally change. You with me on that? Say yes.
Yes.
Now let me finish with this. I'm going to tell you about competing lastly. I'll tell you about my son. This is my son, Max. Okay? I can't tell you about my dad, then I'm going to tell you about my son. That's me and Max. Let me tell you about my little boy. He's my only one. I love him. God bless him. He is, however, he's smart, he's kind, he's much more like his mom than me. He's easily a very happy dude. Everything in his life's great. You'd love him. Everyone meets Max loves him. Right? Boy, the most uncoordinated human being in the history of the world, which is hard when you were an athlete. To this day, I do not know whether Maximus is left or right-handed. I have no idea. I do not know. I've watched him get slammed in the face with a glove on this hand with a fly ball and eat one in the grill with his hand. I watched him strike out 97 times one season lefty, 88 righty. I watched him play a whole basketball season, didn't score a basket except the last game. About 8 minutes left in the game, another kid shoots, Max thinks he makes it, turns to run back down to play defense, the rebound clocks him in the head and bounces into the basket for 2 points, and my kid's running down the court like he just did a 360 dunk. Greatest athletic moment of his life. In golf, some clubs lefty, some clubs righty. I'll prove it to you, by the way, and I did not do this intentionally, swear to you on my son. Look at his feet in this picture. Who in the world, do you know any coordinated person, look at me, that stands like this? Do you know how many pictures I take a day? Nobody ever is like, can we take a picture of Mr. Mylett? Do you know anybody who does this? So we moved to the desert and we picked golf as his sport. And for 3 years, Maximus finished last in every single golf tournament. DFL, not bad, last. And it got to the point where I'm like, hey Max, we're just here to have fun, man. And he goes, I know, Daddy. My son doesn't. I know, Dad. We're here to have fun. Like, yeah, we're here to have fun. He would get out of the car before the round. I go, hey, go warm up. Listen, remember this. Yeah, Dad. I know. I'm going to tell you again. Hey, I won't love you anymore if you win. I couldn't possibly love you more, and I'm not going to love you any less if you lose. I know, Daddy. We're going to have fun. And I picked golf because it was 5 hours. I'm a busy dude. You caddy for your son. You spend the 5 hours with him. He got so bad that when he would come home from rounds of golf, my wife would not even ask him what he scored. It was just literally, did you have fun? It was all about fun. My son is such a kind boy, he took it so literally, he would tee off, whoop, top one in the lake. He's like, here you go, Dad, we're having fun. And I'm like, yeah, Max, this is a freaking blast, dude. Other boys would rip it down the middle. He's like, good shot, Jacob, woohoo! He's more excited than they are. And the other kids are always looking like, you know the objective here? And where we lived, all the other golfers except one was a professional golfer and their son. PGA players. So we'd show up, that's a good day for me, but I was all tattooed and jacked. I got a tank top on, Adidas sweats, hat backwards. My kid's a ragamuffin, left-hand, right-handed clubs. And there, the other guys, matching Ricky Fowler outfit. Perfectly designed golf clubs from a fitting center. And then me and my kid. So life changed in one day, because you can change in one day. I'll tell you the story last. We're playing one day, we've been there 3 years, and we're done with 9 holes. At 9 holes, you grab lunch, you keep playing. Well, this day, the 9 holes, the lunch was over there, and the tee box was like over there, and we were way behind because Max was playing so poorly. We were in last place. We were down 11 shots from second to last. And so, but a life-changing moment happened. One of the dads who plays on the PGA Tour says this. He goes, hey guys, boys, the other 2 boys, you guys go over there and hit your shots and go keep playing. Max will go grab your lunch, he's out of it, and he doesn't give a crap. And my son starts to walk. I'll clean this up for you Christian folk, but this ain't the way I actually said it. Listen, Max, stop. Don't you ever speak to my son like that. Don't you ever disrespect my family. And it was loud, and it wasn't clean. Don't ever speak to my son like that. I said, here's what we're gonna do. You guys go hit that shot. I'll get lunch, Max, you stay with me for a minute. Max looked at me, Dad. My dad, he'd never seen his daddy like that. I said, come here. Come here. They're walking away. I said, come here. Yeah, Dad, have fun. Yeah, come here. I get down at his level, I grab him. I go, listen to me, Max. Listen. We're gonna fucking win tonight. We're winning. And he goes, great shirt. Here he was warming up, by the way, that day. Great golf swing. Nothing wrong with his swing. It was all mental. It was all, we were going to get around to it. We're having fun. It's all about the experience. I said, hey, you got another shirt? He goes, I got a blue one. I go, switch this. I took his shirt off. I said, put this blue one on. I said, Max, I'm anchoring and triggering it. I said, we're going to win today. We're going to win today. This is the winning shirt, Max. I said, here's how this is going to work. We've never done this before. We're doing it today. No practice swings. No dicking around. And I'm going to tell you exactly what club to hit, and you hit it exactly where I tell you to hit it. We're actually going to get serious. I'm going to tell you the yardage, the distance, and where to hit it, and you don't take a practice swing. You swing that freaking club and hit it where I tell you to. You got it? He goes, okay, Dad. I go, take this driver and go hit it. And I watch him walk away. It's my son's normal. And I'm like, and I go in to get the lunch. I'm like, my gosh, I just completely scared the hell out of my son. I'm probably getting arrested for assault. And we're going to get killed still. So I go grab the lunch, but as I'm getting my lunch, I watch Max. He's so, you play golf with someone who plays it, just tee the ball up, right? He's so uncoordinated. He's like down here. You know, I've seen someone do that, like a 5-year-old, except he's 10, trying to tee it up. He finally tees it up. The other kids are looking around like they always do. And he takes the club back and hits it, and he hits a good shot. And I see him from a distance. He hits a good shot. I'm like, hey, I get up there. I go, how'd that feel? He goes, felt okay, Daddy. We're walking down the fairway. I go, hey, man, we're going to win. I've never talked to him like this, ever. We're going to win. We're going to win. Okay, Dad. No, we're going to win. We get up there and go, hey, Max, 110 yards. No, 120. Hit an 8-iron, 10 feet left of the hole. I've never talked to him like that. No practice swing. Okay, Daddy. Takes the club back. Hits it about 20 feet left of the hole, but it's a good shot. I go, good shot. How'd that feel? He goes, good. We're walking. We're going to win. We're going to win. We get up to the green. It's his turn to putt. I said, Max, putt it. I mean, usually Max just lines up, boop, 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 putts it. I go, Maximus, line up the putt like the other boys. Get focused. Okay, Dad. Now, he has no idea what he's doing, and neither do I, but now he's kind of doing this BS, lining it up, like a real player. All right, he goes, Dad, I think it's like 2 feet, downhiller. I have no idea. I'm like, yep, do that thing you just said. He takes the putter back. Little belief in him now, by the way. Drano makes it. Bam, birdie. Birdie! I go, nice shot, Maximus! Yeah, baby! I'm yelling, it's a golf course, you're not supposed to yell. All that creatine's starting to come to life, right? I'm like, I got my freaking shot, son! How you like that? Mr. Grab your lunch? They both bogey, we're down 7. And I'm scared and still, we're walking back, I'm like, we're gonna win, dude. We're gonna freaking win. Okay, Daddy. He gets to the green, gets to the next tee box, comes back, hits it, bombs one down the middle. It's a par 5. We get down to the ball. I go, hey, listen to me, man. We got to go for it over that lake. It's 220. Nope. My son's never hit one 220. The other 2 boys laid up. I said, we have no luxury, Max. We're down 9. We're still down 9. There's 8 holes to go. Hit this 3-wood on the green, man. No practice swing. Any good story? There's a little Jesus involved, right? So he starts taking that club back. I'm like, hey, Lord, please. Like, I'll honor you in every talk I ever flip and give. I'll stop doing 24% of all the dumb stuff I do. Just let this thing hit the green, please. He gets that thing back, gets it there. I'm like, Lord, I'm doing all my old Catholic days, Hail Mary, full of grace, and sign of the cross, whatever I got. I'm laying it out there, man. Right? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. And it hits the wall in front of the green. Bounces straight up in the air. Lands on the green. Rolls to about 3 inches from the hole. You answer this! He goes, kind of flips the club and hands it to me. Right? Now we're walking down the fairway, and he's kind of like, what's up? What's going on? All right, we're here now. We're here. I see him talking to the other boys about golf now. Hey, guys, I'm going TaylorMade right now, thinking of switching to Callaway. What do you guys like? All of a sudden, it's a golf conversation. We get up to the green. He taps in for an eagle. They bogey. Oh, they par. We're down 7. Fast forward to 18, because I'm out of time. 18th hole. We're down 1. The dumbass and his kid. Let's go, Max. Hit this driver. What I tell him to do. Don't take a practice swing. It's about 100 degrees out. My son takes a practice swing. If you don't believe this, it's on my podcast. He talks about it. The club slips out of his hands. Helicopters into the lake. Most important shot of my freaking life. Mr. Coordinated throws the freaking club in the lake. I'm like, well, Max, the Power of one more club. Hit the 3-wood. Here you go. And he hits the 3-wood down the middle. We walk up to the ball. Jacob, the other boy, they're all about the same. There's a lake in front of the green. I hear a dumbass say to his son, "Hey, Jacob, hit a good shot here. Make sure you don't hit it in the lake." I go, "Max, get your ass over here. Come here." Hey, Jacob's gonna hit it in the lake. You never tell someone what not to do, son. Jacob dumps it in the lake. I go, "Max, it's go time. Let's go, baby. You got 110 yards to the hole. Hit this thing 10 feet left of the cup." And he did. Jacob's so good, he holes out from the other side of the lake. So here's the deal. Max 1 putts, he wins. 2 putts, we go to a playoff with dumbass and his kid. 3 putt, we lose. And Max starts to do his little BS walk. He's reading his putt. And my stupid butt goes, "Hey, Max, it's a little downhill. Don't hit it too far past the hole." Mr. Personal Development Mindset over here. And Max goes this to me, he goes, "Dad, I got this. I'm going to make it. We're going to win, Daddy." This is the same boy who for 3 years didn't even keep score. He takes that putter back and it was like super slow motion in both our lives. As this thing rolls in and he drains it. And we win. "Yes, Max, for this!" I'm carrying him around the green like we won the Masters. "How do you like that sandwich, dumbass?" You know, I didn't do that. I didn't do any of that, right? Let me show you something. One moment can change your life. That's him after. There's the blue shirt. Now seriously, look at the joy in his face. 2 things to note here. I got 2 minutes. 2 things to note. Look at the joy in his face. Right? It changed his life. Second thing to note. Still the most uncoordinated human being in the world. Have you ever seen LeBron James with an NBA championship? Right? Like, only my kid. Here's the good news. Let me tell you what changed that day. Let me sure I get the number right. Max won 29 straight tournaments. That day he shot 64. Completely changed his life. One moment, one decision, one shift, one. All of a sudden, we weren't delaying it, we're doing it now. We're competing now. 64 that day. Oh, by the way, then he finished second. I might have the numbers wrong because I'm tired. I think then he won 10 more. Anyway, that's my son signing his college golf scholarship. My son plays college golf. By the way, not only does he play college golf, he's played in several professional tournaments and made the cut in each of them. How does someone go from finishing last in every single tournament to just all of a sudden shifting? Because if you start to compete, if you start to get serious, and I made the game fun, I made winning make him happy. I correlated happiness to winning in his life. This is me and him playing golf in Cabo. I'm not genetically sure who his real father is anymore. I am clearly in that picture back on the creatine temporarily, it looks like to me. And since then, he's lost about 80 pounds. Why do I tell you all that? Because winning is more fun than fun is fun. And let me tell you what I know lastly, okay? You got to start competing. I'm proud of David Arnold. I'm proud of my dad. My dad ended up getting sober. And guess where I believe my dad and David Arnold both are? I believe they're in heaven. I believe they're in heaven. Now, whatever your version of heaven is, as a Christian, all I want the Lord to say, "Hey, well done, good and faithful servant, get your butt in here." By the way, if you want some help from me, it's totally free. You can download, you can screenshot that sucker. There's no click funnel at all. It's just how I manage my days. A lot of you ask me, how do I do my 21 days a week? It's right there. I'll teach you how I actually do my time management. But listen to me, okay, as you're doing that. Why do I believe they're in heaven? For me, I get there, I want that to happen, but I have another thing that I believe happens when we get to heaven. I think metaphorically you meet the man or woman you were born to be. I think you meet him. I think there's the person over there you're going to meet ultimately that was made in your image and likeness with a destiny. This person has all the memories, all the emotions, all the contribution, all the moments, all the things you've seen in your life, all the pride of the achievement of your life. You get to meet that person. To me, heaven literally is when I get there and go, "Man, I've been chasing you all my life. I got knocked down, I got sideways, I did that stupid thing, but I kept getting up and coming after you." And you know what? I want that guy to go, "Man, I was watching. I thought that one economy, you were out. That one stupid thing you did, man, I thought for sure you were toast, but you did. You kept getting up. You kept stepping in faith. You kept believing. You kept trying to get better. You kept improving. You finally knew you weren't disqualified. You finally became a little evangelical about your life. You finally started to sell happiness. You finally started to compete. You finally started to uncover your gifts. You finally realized you were the one. You finally realized you were the one. And you did it. You maxed out your life. Congratulations. Welcome to heaven, man. You did it. Right? To me, that's heaven. Hell looks a lot different. Hell is you get there and you go, yeah, I had it. And then the economy and my business partner and my spouse, and I got up a couple, shit. I blew it. I lived afraid. I lived afraid. I spent this whole thing afraid. I lived in fear and not my faith. I was gonna get around to it. I was gonna do it. Wait a minute, you're telling me it was this close the whole time? And I kept thinking, damn it. Yeah, I saw that. You don't get another one. That was the one. There's no one more life. There's a lot of one mores, but there's not one more life. I don't recognize you. That's hell. You need to make a decision at this meeting. I say this metaphorically, but I think some of you know me well enough, I mean it literally. Contemplate what heaven looks like for you. Contemplate that you really want to get there someday. Decide you're going to live in some faith. Decide you're going to max out your life. Decide that you're the one. See, to me and my family, last thing I'll tell you, I was growing up, I would walk Christiane on these beaches. I said, babe, we're going to live here someday. We get you an oceanfront house. I had no idea. I went home and I said, Dad, how do I end up one of these people that lives oceanfront? You know, like at the end of the earth. Of course, I'm low IQ. My dad's like, well, it's not the end of the earth, it's the end of the continent, but I get your point. The earth is round, Eddie. Okay, Dad, whatever, you know. But who are these people that live there? My dad goes, I don't know. I've never met any of them. I don't know who they are. And I finally figured it out. Listen to me real close, lastly. When you meet a happy family, somewhere in their generational history, they weren't. When you meet a rich family, somewhere back, they weren't rich. Until the one shows up. The one in every family changes the family forever. See, the world doesn't have their thumb on the Myletts anymore. We don't think like we used to think. We don't think that way. Let me tell you something. My grandfather's Edward Michael Joseph Mylett I. His dad died in a gutter, drowned in South Boston. That's where I come from. I'm Edward III. By the way, I met the dude that got my dad sober last month. You know what his name is? Ed. There's 4 Eds. He's the one. I'm the one in my family. I'm the one who took the shots. I'm the one who had to deal with all the negatives and the skeptics and the cancellations and the meetings and the downtime and the self-doubt and the ridicule and all the heart. I took all of that from my family to be the one in my life. The world doesn't have their thumb on our family anymore. And you can be the one. You need to be the one in your family. And guess who the one always is? It's the one who doesn't think they are. It's the one the rest of the family figures it probably isn't. It's you. You're the one. In fact, by the way, that's not rhetoric. I am the one. I'll leave you on this. I just read this, by the way. Blew my mind. They came up with a definition for it. Dr. Broderick calls it a transitional character. A transitional character is one who in a single generation changes the entire course of a lineage. The changes might be for good or ill, but the most noteworthy examples are those individuals who grow up in an abusive, emotionally destructive, or average ordinary environment and who somehow find a way to metabolize the poison and refuse to pass it on to their children. They break the mold. They refute the observation that abused children become abusive parents, that the children of alcoholics become alcoholic adults, that poor children become poor adults, that unhappy children become unhappy adults. Their contribution to humanity is to filter the destructiveness out of their own lineage so that the generations downstream will have a supportive foundation on which to build productive lives. That's the one, that's who you are. God bless you. Thanks for that.
Hey, listen, it's amazing when you have somebody who literally, his sister is texting him, she's like, if you don't get his ass in the car and on a plane, he's gonna miss his plane, and he's still sitting here delivering.